Happy New Year everyone, and we are back on Build It TV, and today we are going to be making this look a whole lot better. So this is my SR20 DE engine that we actually took out. If you saw the RB1ASX builds, the first videos, this is the engine which we took out of that. Well, and it's a really well maintained SR20 DE engine. The oil was all nice, it's had all its changes when it should have. The servicing has been immaculate on this car all the way through. So I want to reuse this engine. So I've got an idea for this, but the first thing we need to do before we go into what we're going to do with the engine is to clean it up, because really at the minute it looks an absolute mess. Absolutely tons of horrible gunk on here. So we'll get that all cleaned up. I also managed to get off a good friend of mine a absolutely cracking deal on an SR20 DE manifold. And well, I've been looking for one of these for a good long while, and this came up literally 5 minutes down the road, so fantastic. So first thing for me to do, we've already taken the accessories off this side. So I'm going to pop off the alternator on this side so we've got a bit more room, and take the belt off, and then we'll be able to see everything a bit easier and get in there with some cleaner. So when it comes to cleaning up the engine, a good friend of mine gave me a bit of advice, and which was to go for some oven cleaner. So I've got this beautiful oven pride stuff, and my intention was to just fully douse it in this first of all, let that soak in and then spray it off. But after reading the instructions, it takes 4 hours. So what I think I'm going to do is give it a blast off first to get all the sort of residual stuff that's just sitting on there off, and then we'll coat it in this and come back to it and see how well it does, because it makes sense. If we can get all the crap out of an oven, then it should be able to get some of the grime and stuff off of this. It's grease, kind of similar stuff. So we'll give it a go, and I'll let you know how we get on. Okay, so first blast off actually took quite a bit off, as you can see. I mean, there's still stuff on there, but it's a whole lot cleaner than it was, especially on this front plate here, where it was like a couple of, well, probably sort of 50mm thick with just rubber and stuff from the belt, I guess, spinning around. So that should be a good basis for our degreaser to go onto, for our oven cleaner, should I say, to go onto. So I'm going to start applying that. Okay, so the oven cleaner is applied, and actually already I could see stuff starting to drip down. I mean, even like the tube here for the oil dipstick and the other breather tube over there, I've already cleaned up really well, and some of this, as I was literally wiping it with the cleaner, is coming off, so that's a good sign, definitely. Obviously been careful around the inlets on both sides, and gone over everything else. So we're going to leave that for a couple of hours, and then hopefully it will just blast right off and give us a nice clean finish. So to apply the oven cleaner to the engine, I used a sponge. Basically the oven cleaner that I've used comes in a bottle. Some of them come in sprays and things like that, but this one had the best ratings for ovens, so my theory, if it works on grease on an oven, it'll work on grease on this. And it comes in a bottle. I used a scouring pad sponge, a fairly large scouring pad, applied it all on there liberally, and then after about 3 hours I rubbed it off with the scouring pad side of it, and well, I've got to say I'm really impressed with the results. Obviously it's not perfect. This is 27 years or so of dirt and whatnot that's built up on the engine, but compared to a front plate here where you actually couldn't see that this was silver, it's come up really good. So I think if I wanted to get it absolutely perfect, maybe get in there with like a toothbrush or something to get some of this stuff off would probably do the job. For a few hours work and a whole load of elbow grease, it's not a bad result at all. It makes it look a whole lot more presentable for when this goes into that engine bay. As you can see though, it's definitely missing something. Well, every clean engine needs a decent looking rocker cover. So let me show you what I've done with this one. Look at this. This is a Miami blue cover we put on, and I don't like to blow my own trumpet, but I think this looks absolutely mega. Proper stoked with this. If you can see, the whole thing just is transformed. and it just looks like a totally different engine. I'll end up cleaning up this manifold. As you can see, I've gone with some Scotch-Brite just to see what it would look like on there. It just takes it back to the original metal. We'll make it nice and clean for when it burns for the first time running this engine, but all in all, it looks absolutely brilliant. If you're interested in anything like this, then check out the Build It TV Instagram, somewhere here, because we've got lots of different things coming up for S chassis, R body stuff. So those of you who stay to the end of the video, I just want to say a massive thank you for watching, and also give you a little rundown on what the plan is for this engine. So this is going to go into the new 180SX project. If you haven't seen the video on everything wrong with that, then go and check it out. It's in my library. And the idea for this is going to be the most simple build ever, which is basically going to be keeping it non-turbo, getting rid of the injection system and running it on twin 45 Weber carburetors, and putting a basic ignition system on it as well. So we'll have no ECU, not a lot of wiring other than the starter and alternator wiring on it, and really just keeping it as simple as possible. A couple of thoughts: would it be the slowest Nissan out there? It might be. I expect, this engine is about 150, 160 brake as standard. I expect we're going to retain about that, really, maybe lose a little bit in the carburetor system, but for me it's more about the visceral side of it, what it's going to look like, what it's going to feel like, and what it's going to sound like as well. So, you know, I have other cars that can be fast. This one is not designed for that. It's going to look good, hopefully, and sound good. So that is the plan for this engine, and I can't wait to crack on and get it sorted. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.